When was the last time you walked into your own living room and instead of feeling calm, you felt heavy, almost overwhelmed by the little piles of, "I'll get to it later"? I used to think the only way to have a truly tidy home was to set aside a whole weekend, push myself to exhaustion, and then watch the clutter creep back in a few days later. But then I visited a Japanese friend in her 60s, and what struck me wasn't that her home was spotless. It was that it felt alive yet effortless. There wasn't the pressure of perfection, but there was a rhythm, a quiet order that seemed to take care of her instead of the other way around. No. And here's the twist. It wasn't about scrubbing harder or buying expensive organizers. It was about small, almost invisible daily gestures that added up to a life where the house never had a chance to become overwhelming. For so many of us after 60, the fear isn't just the clutter itself. It's the thought that one day we won't be able to keep up at all, that our home, once a place of peace, might turn into something that controls us, or worse, makes us feel forgotten inside it. What I discovered in these Japanese habits is a way out of that cycle. They're not about being perfect, they're about being present. They respect your body, your time, and your energy. They whisper, not shout. And when you weave them into your day, you start to see your home not as another burden, but as an ally. In this video, I'll share 7 daily Japanese habits that keep homes tidy without effort. And I promise, each one is simple, gentle, and something you can start today. The last habit we'll cover might surprise you, because it's not about cleaning at all. It's about how you close your day, and it might just be the secret to waking up in peace. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? And how has your daily rhythm at home been lately? We read every single comment, and your story might be just what someone else needs today. All right, let's step into habit 1. It's small, but it just might change how your whole home feels. Habit 1, the entrance reset. Have you noticed how the first step you take inside your home sets the tone for everything that follows? In Japanese households, there's a habit called the Genkin reset. Every time someone enters, the shoes are neatly placed, the doorway is cleared, and it feels like a fresh beginning. You can bring this same calm into your life with just one small action. The entrance reset is simple. Each time you walk in the door, pause for just 1 minute. Put your shoes in their spot. Hang your coat. Place your bag where it belongs. If there's any mail or grocery bag, give it a home immediately instead of letting it sit by the door. This way, you're not carrying the day's chaos into the rest of the house. You're leaving it right there. I remember visiting Mrs. Akiko, a 70-year-old widow whose tiny Tokyo apartment always felt like a sanctuary. She told me, "When I place my shoes neatly, I feel like I'm placing my mind neatly too." For her, the entrance wasn't just a doorway. It was a boundary between the outside world and her private peace. What many women after 60 often feel but don't say out loud is this: the fear of small messes becoming bigger than us. A few shoes at the door, a bag left on the floor, can feel like proof that we're not keeping up the way we used to. And that fear sits heavier than the clutter itself. That's why I love this habit so much. It's not about scrubbing or bending. It's about a gesture of control, a reminder that this is your home and it listens to you. Personally, I find that when I reset the entrance, I breathe easier the moment I step inside. It's like saying to myself, "Here, you are safe, you are steady, you belong." One woman I spoke with, Mrs. Taylor, 68, said it perfectly. "My entrance used to feel like a dumping ground. Now it feels like a welcome mat for my soul." And studies on home psychology even show that the entryway is one of the biggest predictors of how tidy a whole house feels. That means this little 1-minute reset can ripple through the rest of your space. If you want to try one thing today, let it be this. When you walk in next time, pause, reset the entrance, and notice how your shoulders drop. You can do this too. And once you've created calm at the door, it's time to bring that same ease into the heart of your home, the living space, where clutter tends to gather silently. That's where habit 2 comes in. Habit 2, the daily wipe down. Have you ever noticed how a little dust on the table seems harmless at first, but by the end of the week, it feels like the whole room is slipping away from you? The Japanese call it cleaning in the moment, and one of their simplest daily habits is the wipe down. Instead of waiting for dirt to pile up, they take a soft cloth or paper towel and wipe key surfaces once a day. The dining table after breakfast, the kitchen counter after tea, or the bathroom sink before bed. It takes less than 2 minutes, but it keeps the home feeling fresh all the time. You don't need fancy sprays or heavy lifting. Just one cloth within reach, ready to swipe. I remember visiting Mrs. Nakamura, a 73-year-old woman in Osaka. She laughed when I asked about her cleaning routine. She said, "I don't really clean, I just wipe." Her secret? A little basket with microfiber cloths in every room. She told me that when she stopped looking at it as cleaning day, and instead thought of it as just a little wipe, she never felt overwhelmed again. That tiny shift gave her back her sense of control. For many women over 60, the quiet fear is that the house will get away from us, that one day we'll wake up and it will be too much to handle. And it's not just about dust. It's about the feeling of losing our grip. But when you touch your home every day, even for seconds, you remind yourself, I'm still in charge here. Personally, I've found this habit calming in a way I didn't expect. It's not really about the dust. It's about the dignity of knowing I'm caring for my space, a little at a time, without exhausting myself. One woman I spoke with, Mrs. Joyce, 70, said something that stuck with me. I don't wait for Saturday anymore. I give myself peace on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday too. And research backs it up. Short bursts of daily maintenance reduce overall cleaning time by almost 40%. That's not just about saving energy, it's about protecting joy. So here's my gentle invitation. Tonight, before bed, take a soft cloth and wipe one surface. Just one. Notice how it makes you feel when you walk in tomorrow morning. You can do this too. And once the surfaces feel lighter, it's time to move on to the habit that keeps clutter itself from creeping back in. That's habit 3, and it may surprise you how freeing it feels. Habit 3, the one in, one out practice. Do you ever notice how new things slip into your home so easily, but nothing ever seems to leave? The Japanese have a simple habit that keeps balance without drama. It's called one in, one out. Every time something new comes in, a shirt, a mug, even a book, something else must go out. It doesn't need to be painful, just a small trade that keeps your home steady instead of overflowing. You bring in a new teacup, then an old chipped one gets donated or recycled. Buy a new pair of shoes, let go of the pair that hasn't been worn in years. This way, nothing sneaks up on you. I once spoke with Mrs. Keiko, a 68-year-old widow, who said her turning point was when she realized her kitchen cabinets were stacked 2 rows deep with plates she never used. She started the one in, one out practice after her daughter gave her a new tea set. She told me, at first it felt rude to let go of the old one, but then I realized what I was really doing was making space for the gift to shine. Within 6 months, her cabinets looked lighter, and she told me she felt lighter too. For many women over 60, the silent fear is not just clutter itself, but the feeling of being buried under things that no longer match our lives today. It whispers, maybe I can't keep up anymore. Maybe I'll be remembered for the mess I left behind. But here's the truth I've learned. You can set the rhythm of your home, one gentle choice at a time. To me, the beauty of this practice is that it turns decluttering into something natural and ongoing, not a giant, exhausting project. Mrs. Clara, 71, put it perfectly. Every new thing has to earn its space. Otherwise, it's just noise in my life. Studies even show that people who use this method reduce accumulation by almost 50% compared to those who declutter once a year. That's not just about less clutter, it's about more breathing room every single day. So maybe this week, when something new enters your home, pause and ask yourself, what will I let go of in return? It doesn't have to be big. Even letting go of a small item is an act of care for your future self. You can do this too. And once you've learned to balance what comes in and what goes out, the next Japanese habit will help you carry that same peace into the flow of your daily routines. It's about turning ordinary moments into opportunities for calm. Would you like to hear how? Habit 4. The flow of laundry. 03. Food. Have you ever felt like laundry piles multiply overnight? Like a quiet tide that never stops rising? In Japanese homes, laundry isn't a mountain to climb once a week. It's a gentle daily flow. Instead of letting clothes pile up, they wash smaller loads more often and fold as soon as things are dry. It's not about being busier, it's about creating a rhythm that prevents overwhelm. One woman I met in Kyoto, Mrs. Aki, 67, shared that she no longer has laundry day. Instead, she folds clothes right off the line while humming to her favorite enka songs. She said, "My basket is never full, so my heart is never heavy." That struck me deeply, because isn't that what we want? Not just clean clothes, but a lighter heart? The silent fear many women carry is that they'll wake up one day and not have the strength to manage the mess. Laundry, in particular, feels like proof of falling behind. But the flow habit says, don't let it pile into proof. Just let it move gently, every day. Personally, I've found this turns chores into a soft background rhythm instead of a dreaded task. As Mrs. Aki's words remind us, a little every day keeps both the basket and the spirit empty. Studies back this up too. Smaller daily loads reduce physical strain by almost 40% compared to weekly marathons. So if laundry feels overwhelming, try doing just one small load today. You can do this too. And once your clothes flow with ease, what about the rest of your home? That's where the Japanese evening sweep comes in. A practice so simple, yet it transforms the way tomorrow feels before it even begins. Habit 5. The 5-minute evening sweep. What if 5 minutes each night could erase tomorrow's chaos before it even starts? The Japanese call it a quick sweep, a short ritual before bed where the family clears surfaces, folds blankets, and returns items to their homes. It isn't deep cleaning. It's simply giving tomorrow the gift of calm. I remember visiting Mrs. Yumi, 70, in Osaka. After tea, she quietly got up, wiped the table, fluffed the cushions, and placed a small flower on the counter. Now, she smiled, the house sleeps peacefully, just like me. For many seniors, the unspoken fear at night is waking up to disorder that instantly steals energy. It's that moment you open your eyes, and instead of feeling rested, you feel already behind. I've lived that. But when I began the 5-minute sweep, mornings felt different, like my home was greeting me instead of scolding me. The truth is, this isn't about doing more. It's about doing less at the right time. 5 minutes in the evening is far gentler than 30 minutes of morning stress. One study in Tokyo showed that families who did this felt 25% less morning anxiety. And Mrs. Yumi's words echo that. Peace in the morning begins with care at night. So maybe tonight, before you head to bed, just set a timer for 5 minutes. Clear one surface, fold one blanket. See if you wake up to a softer morning. You can do this too. And when you've gifted tomorrow with calm, the next Japanese habit makes sure that calm isn't just in your home, but in your choices about what stays and what goes. Would you like to hear how they do it? Habit 6. The morning air ritual. When was the last time you opened your window in the morning and just let the world in? In Japan, there's a simple but powerful habit. Every morning, even in winter, families open their windows for a few minutes to let fresh air sweep through the home. It's called asa no kuki air, literally, bringing in the morning air. It may sound small, but the effect is deeply calming. The air feels lighter, the energy shifts, and suddenly, the home feels alive again. I remember meeting Mrs. Keiko, 71, in Nara. Every morning, she slides open her shoji screen, takes a slow breath, and says, "This is how I remind myself I'm still here." Her words stayed with me. For her, the ritual wasn't just about air. It was about presence, about starting the day connected to something bigger than the four walls around her. She told me, "Even when my body aches, the air tells me today is new." That's something so many of us need to hear. Because, let's be honest, one of the unspoken fears of aging is feeling closed in, not just by the walls of our homes, but by the weight of routine, by the sense that every day is the same. Opening the window is more than ventilation. It's a declaration: I'm choosing freshness over stagnation. Personally, I've noticed that when I open the window first thing, my mood shifts before my coffee even brews. Studies even show that fresh morning air improves alertness and reduces stress hormones. It's such a gentle, forgiving practice, one you can do sitting down with no tools at all. So tomorrow, when you wake up, try opening a window for just 3 minutes. Let the air brush across your face. Notice how your home feels different. You can do this too. And once the air feels new, the next Japanese habit: make sure your surfaces carry that same clarity. Because what we see every day shapes how calm we feel. Shall we step into that? Habit 7. The daily closing gesture. What if the way you end your day could quietly set the tone for tomorrow? In Japan, many households practice a small, almost ceremonial act before bed, a closing gesture. It could be as simple as folding the blanket neatly, wiping down the table, or even bowing slightly to the home as if to say, "Thank you for today." It may sound unusual, but this ritual signals to both body and mind that the day is complete and tomorrow is a fresh start. I think of Mrs. Aiko, 74, who shared her habit with me during a visit. Every night, before turning off the lights, she walks to her kitchen counter, wipes it once, and softly whispers, "Otsukare-sama," a Japanese phrase meaning, "Thank you for your effort." She told me, "I used to go to bed with unfinished thoughts, but this one action makes me feel I can rest." For her, it wasn't about cleaning perfectly. It was about closure, dignity, and peace. Many older women quietly confess a fear that their days blur together, that life feels like one long stretch of chores without rhythm or rest. This habit interrupts that cycle. It creates a moment of ownership, a pause that says, "I have lived today, and I am ready for tomorrow." Personally, I've found it grounding too. When I set my space right before bed, even something as small as placing my shoes back in order, I wake up lighter, as if the house itself greets me kindly. One woman in her 60s once told me, "Peace doesn't come from a big clean, it comes from a little respect, repeated daily." That stayed with me. If you're curious, try this tonight. Choose one small gesture that signals closure: a light switched off with intention, a cushion placed neatly, a whispered thank you to the room. You can do this too. And now that we've walked through these 7 daily Japanese habits, let's close together with a reflection. A gentle exhale on why these practices matter, not just for tidy homes, but for calm hearts. Would you like to take that last step with me? You don't need long, exhausting days to keep your home tidy. What you really need are small habits, repeated gently, day after day, that quietly build into peace. That's what the Japanese way has taught me. Tidiness isn't a project, it's a rhythm of living. You're not giving up memories or comfort by doing this. In fact, you're creating a home that always welcomes you, with calm mornings when you wake up, and with softness at night when you go to bed. So tell me, which habit will you try first? Share it below. You never know whose heart your story might touch, or who you might inspire today. And if no one's told you this yet, you are not behind. You are not failing. You're simply ready. Ready to breathe easier in your space, ready to make life lighter. And yes, you can do this too. Until next time, my friend, be kind to your home and even kinder to yourself.